Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Shane.
And I am Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Hi, Shane.
You know, we've been talking about smartwatches for a couple of days now, right? And their topic is that smartwatches are more than just watches. So
exactly.
Today we'll be looking at part 3.
Yes, and in part 2, we learned that the smartwatches can keep track of your heartbeat and your steps.
Right.
But there's so much more that it can actually do.
Well, do you have some examples of
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're smart. You're not wearing your smartwatch now.
But I was yesterday.
Because it's linked to your smartphone.
Exactly.
So you can see it on your app.
Yeah,
right?
so the app can actually tell me my sleep score.
What?
So I got a 79% on my sleep score because I had a total of 9 hours of sleep.
9 hours?
But
wow.
only 1 hour was deep sleep. And I had about 6 or 7 hours of light sleep and almost 2 hours of dreaming, REM.
Wow.
Yeah, so it can keep track of all of that. So I can see, oh, okay, my sleep quality isn't that great, right? I only had 1 hour of deep sleep.
I wonder how accurate this is. Can my smartwatch do that?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty basic function.
I've never tried tracking my sleep. I don't like to wear my watch to bed.
Ah, okay.
I like to just feel like something's on my arm when I'm sleeping or something. It would be uncomfortable, but it would be fun to track my sleep for a few days.
You can find out, how your sleep quality is.
So cool. Okay, let's get into part 3.
Sounds good.
Having a smartphone makes life easier. Now, having a smartwatch takes that even further. Smartwatches are like little smartphones on your wrists. Once you start using one, there's no going back. Smartwatches give you many of your phone's features. However, they allow you to keep your hands free.
Okay, so part 3 of smartwatches are more than just watches.
Yes, so part 1 and part 2, we had Cole and Cheryl trying to figure out the smartwatch that they just got.
Yeah, that Cole just got.
Yeah, that he just got, and he's learning about everything that the smartwatch can do, right?
Right.
So it can track your sleep, it can count your steps, it can count your heartbeat, right? That's crazy.
It can do all kinds of receive notifications for messages.
Exactly.
And it can look really pretty. Okay, so we're going to talk more about smartwatches, okay? So having a smartphone makes life easier. Now, having a smartwatch takes that even further.
Yes, it's almost like the same thing, right?
Yes.
So smartwatches are like little smartphones on your wrist. Once you start using one, there's no going back.
Yeah, once you get used to the convenience of having a smartwatch and all of the functions that it has, you start to rely on your smartwatch, and just like you feel naked when you forget your smartphone.
Exactly.
You start to feel that way when you're not wearing your smartwatch.
Yes, because all of those functions, you start using them, right? Even if you're trying to pay for your bus fare, you could use your smartwatch.
Exactly. And so a smartwatch is on your wrist, right? So the wrist is, right here. This is the joint between the hand and the arm. We call that the wrist. Right? So for example, today I am wearing a smartwatch on my wrist.
Yes, or you could also wear bracelets.
A bracelet.
On your wrist.
Right.
So continuing, smartwatches give you many of your phone's features. However, they allow you to keep your hands free. Yes, so if you have a really advanced model, you could just send messages on your phone, receive messages, do most things actually, pay for things.
The smartwatch can read the messages to you as well, so you don't have to look at it even. You can have it actually tell you what the notifications are, or if somebody sends you a message, it can read it for you, and then you can respond all hands-free.
Well, people are getting really lazy now.
Right? So feature, so they have lots of features. So a feature is a noun. It's something important of a thing, or it could even be a place, right? So something important in a thing like a smartwatch. You could say one of the features of a smartwatch is that, like we said, it can track your sleep. That's one of the features. Or you could say, for example, the new software has lots of cool features. All right, why don't we take a break and we'll get right back into the article.
Okay.
You can command them to check your calendar, pause your music, and so much more. Smartwatches also help you manage your time. You can get notices for appointments, so you'll no longer have to worry about missing them. Smartwatches are really smart.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so before the break, we were talking about how your smartwatch really keeps your hands free.
Yes, you don't have to hold your phone anymore.
That's right. So you can, do all kinds of things without actually having to pick up your smartphone and move around and look. And that's very useful, especially if you're walking or driving or, doing something where you need to pay attention.
Exactly. Very convenient.
Yes.
So continuing, you can command them to check your calendar, pause your music, and so much more. Well, that's true. So you can command them, like tell them to do something, right? Yeah. For example, the teacher will command the class to start the activity.
Right. So to command something usually sounds a little bit negative. If you command
someone, right?
Someone, it sounds like it's not very good. It's like you are
telling them what to do.
But more than that, if I command you,
means you have to.
Kind of like I am like your boss, or I am above you and you are below me.
Exactly.
But we're talking about our devices. To command a device doesn't sound so negative.
Well,
right?
You're commanding a machine, so there's no hard feelings.
You could say tell it. You say I'm telling it to check my calendar.
Okay.
Right. Okay. But we call them commands, right? So you can also command have it look at your calendar, right? Command it to look at your calendar. And a calendar is a record of what you have to do each day, right? Or it's like the book or piece of software, usually, right?
Yes.
We have a calendar on our phone where you record that information. So like I'll look on my calendar and see today, oh, I need to work. Oh, I need to buy groceries.
That reminds me of Matt, because I hear that Matt doesn't use...
That's another host, right?
Yeah, another host. He doesn't use a software calendar on his phone. So everything, he writes it on his actual calendar book. But then he doesn't bring out his book. So when we have to make plans, he's like, oh, I need to go home and write it on my calendar instead of having it on his phone.
That's ridiculous.
It's funny, yeah.
So for example, my calendar is very open this month. So let's plan a trip.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, so you can pause your music, for example. To pause means to stop something for a short time. Yeah, so for example, you can pause the video if you need to answer the phone.
Right, I need to pause for a second.
Yeah. Bless you.
Okay, excuse me. Yeah, had to pause.
Yes.
So yeah, stop for just a little while. Continuing, smartwatches also help you manage your time. You can get notices for appointments.
Yeah, so it pretty much sounds like everything your phone does, just on your wrist, right?
Right. So to manage is a verb.
Yes.
It means to control or be in charge of something.
Yeah.
So for example, you can say if you are organized, then it's not difficult to manage your responsibilities.
Oh, and someone whose main job is to manage people or things is called a manager, right? Because that's their job.
Right, to manage people.
Yeah, so you can manage your appointments. An appointment is a planned meeting with someone like a doctor or even a friend, right?
Right.
So for example, I have an appointment with the dentist at 3 p.m.
Oh, you better hurry.
Almost there.
Almost there. Okay, so continuing. So you'll no longer have to worry about missing them.
Missing the appointments.
You're right. Smartwatches are really smart.
Indeed.
Yeah, they are really smart, and it does help you keep track of those appointments. Like a lot of times I forget, and then I'm looking just to see what time it is, and I'll see the notification there.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's right. I need to get to the dentist or whatever I have to do. So it's nice to be able to get reminders without having to get your phone out and check through your phone.
Exactly.
It's
so
really
it's
convenient.
right on your wrist.
Right on your wrist.
And I feel like the functions will only become more and more, right?
Yeah, I think, of course, like any technology, it just keeps improving.
Exactly.
And it really helps us in our lives to make them more convenient. But I just wanted to ask you, do you ever feel like these things become a burden because of you become so dependent on your devices, their smart devices?
Yeah, I mean, for example, everything I have is on my phone. So if I lose my phone, I feel like
it's the end of the world.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very difficult.
Feels that way.
Yeah, it feels that way. Like if I use it to pay for things, if I use it for getting places, because I use the maps a lot, like without it, I'm almost useless, right?
Yeah.
How am I going to get somewhere without a taxi, without my phone?
Yes.
It's difficult.
Yes. So with everything good comes something a little bit bad. There's a
Yes.
balance. But at the end of the day, smartwatches are definitely a great addition to our life.
Yes.
And if you don't have one, maybe you should pick up a cheap one. They're not expensive.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, some are.
The basic ones are actually very affordable.
Yeah, so you can pick one up and give it a try. It's pretty fun. Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us on this adventure of researching and looking through smartwatches.
Indeed. See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Having a smartphone makes life easier. Now, having a smartwatch takes that even further. Smartwatches are like little smartphones on your wrists. Once you start using one, there's no going back. Smartwatches give you many of your phone's features. However, they allow you to keep your hands free. You can command them to check your calendar, pause your music, and so much more. Smartwatches also help you manage your time. You can get notices for appointments, so you'll no longer have to worry about missing them. Smartwatches are really smart.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 wrist 名词手腕。Fiona wore a bracelet on her left wrist. Fiona 的左手腕上戴了一条手链。Bracelet 指的是手链。下一个单字 command 动词指示命令。The teacher commanded the students to be quiet and pay attention. 老师命令学生保持安静并专心。下一个单字 calendar 名词行事历。 I mark important events on my calendar. 我在行事历上标记重要的活动。最后一个单字 pause 动词暂停中断。Jimmy paused the game to grab a snack. Jimmy 暂停游戏去拿点心。Grab 指的是拿。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 take something further 推进某事物。Further 是一个副词，意思是进一步的、更远的。我们来看看这个例句。After discussing, we decided to take the project further. 在讨论后，我们决定推进这个专案。下一个文法 There's no going back. 没有回头路，已成定局。字面上的意思是回不去了，也就是所做或决定之事已无法改变。我们来看看这个例句。Once you sign the contract, there's no going back. 一旦你签了合约，就没有回頭路了。最後一個文法 no longer 不再，再也不，這是一個副詞片語，常常放在一般動詞的前面或者是 be 動詞的後面。我們先來看看放在一般動詞前面的例句。I used to love swimming, but now I no longer enjoy it. 我曾經喜歡游泳，但現在我再也不喜歡了。我們再來看看放在 be 動詞後的例句。Lily is no longer interested in tennis. Lily 對網球不再感興趣了。以上就是這一課的重點單字跟文法，我們下一課再見，拜拜。
Today, we are going to visit the Beigan Visitor Center. Let me tell you something about visitor centers. They are usually located near different types of tourist attractions, and it's a good idea to visit one whenever you see it. So usually at visitor centers, you can find a lot of different information about that site, such as the history, you can find maps, you can find guided tours. There's always a lot of different activities you can do also at these centers. So let's go and find out what Beigan Visitor Center has to offer. The Beigan Visitor Center is located in Banli Village near Banli Beach. The center has travel information and offers visitors guided tours. Be sure to take a picture with the interactive photos of popular Mazu attractions. Visitors can take a rest, have a meal, and buy Mazu products at the center. Beigan Visitor Center is a wonderful stopover for everyone touring Beigan Island. So after watching that video, I hope you'll understand just how important these visitor centers are. So next time you visit Beigan Island, make sure you visit the Beigan Visitor Center first. That way, you'll understand how to make the most of your visit.